Marketing and sales teams need to see a complete picture of what's happening across their business, but most organizations' data lives in disparate technology and storage silos. Relationship One's Data Cloud app solves this problem by providing a unified, cloud-based warehouse to consolidate all of your data, along with a set of Eloqua tools for marketing activation. The Data Cloud admin tools let you manage your Data Cloud data sources, tables and fields, pick lists and table relationships, manage data connections, and access global reports and dashboards. Click on the Manage Tables link in the menu to add or edit your Data Cloud data sources. For Data Cloud Standard Trim, you can add up to 50 tables. For the Enterprise Trim, you can add up to 100 tables. Each table can have up to 300 fields or columns. Now let's take a closer look at an existing table. When you edit a table, you will get a visual indicator of how many records are currently in the table, as well as its columns. When you add a new table column, you can specify text, date, or number data types. You can also specify if the column is a unique identifier and if it should be indexed. For text data types, you can specify a pick list that should be used within the Canvas tools. You can also empty a table completely or delete a table. Click on the Manage Table Relationships link in the menu to add or edit relationships between your Data Cloud tables. Table relationships lets you create parent-child relationships within your data. For example, linking purchase table data with the product catalog table using a product ID field. Manage Connections lets you import data from external systems through different connectors like Amazon's Cloud Storage Object or using SFTP. Connections let you upsert data or delete data from a table. Here is an example of an Amazon connection where you specify your credentials, bucket name, and region, path, and file name. You can then test your connection to make sure your settings are correct. Next, for upsert connections, you would specify your field mapping from your source data to your Data Cloud table. You can run your data imports on demand by clicking the Run Now button, or you can set up a scheduled import. For scheduled imports, set the import frequency, days of the week, start time, and end time. You can also reload historic data by reprocessing older data files. Lastly, you can specify one or more email addresses to receive a notification on import success or import failure. The Relationship One Data Cloud app includes a number of campaign and program Canvas tools. Let's take a look at the Data Cloud Query Builder that is available for both contacts and custom object records. With the Query Builder, you can use data from one or multiple tables to select the records you want to add to your Canvas. Because the data is stored in the Data Cloud and you have defined table relationships, you can build both simple and complex queries. Just select the table and field you want to use and set your desired criteria. Depending on your data types, you'll be able to select different comparators. You can also specify how you want to group your criteria together, either using simple logic or more complex logic. Next, you will need to define how records should be imported. In the mapping section, at minimum, you need to define the table and column you want to use as the unique identifier. For a contact record, this is usually an email address. Optionally, you can add data from any other table and column. You will also need to select a field that should be used to determine the winning record if more than one record is returned for the same contact. Lastly, you can test your selection criteria and get a record count. The app will also display the raw query logic. When you enable your Canvas, the app will automatically run your query and import you records. Optionally, you can enable a schedule import. Just specify the frequency, for as often as every 5 minutes, to as slow as once a month, and the desired days and time. The Data Cloud Decision app lets you query your data to see if a record meets your desired criteria. It is configured much like the Query Builder app. When building the decision selection criteria, you can check if the record has a specific value for a data cloud field, or you can dynamically match a contact field value against your data. Records that match your criteria will flow down the yes pathway. Those that don't will flow down the no pathway. The Decision app also lets you append data from the data cloud to a contact or custom object record. This is a great feature if you need to add information to personalize your orchestrations, like adding the address of the closest store based on a postal code or updating customer preferences. And that's it. You can now extend your data, build table relationships, query for records across one or multiple tables, and import records for orchestration. Whether you have a question about features, app pricing, need a demo, or anything else, our team is ready to answer all your questions.